It's Friday. It's summer here, and yeah, it's been a long week. But I'm talking to you if you're a CEO, and I want to leave you with a few thoughts because a CEO's job these days is harder than it's ever been, in my view. And I've spent 45 years around boardrooms with the top job, working with and advising boards and CEOs, and I've got a pretty good handle of what goes on. But I want to tell you a short story because that will put it in context for you. About 20 years ago, I had a key job, and I walked into the boardroom, top table, sat down, flicking through the board pack, looking around the room at my fellow board members walking and sitting down. And I had a number of feelings. I mean, I'd had some bad feelings previously. And the first feeling, or the first thing I want to share is that you sit there and you're hoping nobody asks you a question you can't answer. And and that stems from the fact that you flick through the ball pack and these are numbers you don't recognize because you didn't put them together. You don't know where they came from, and few people around that board table can explain them either, which gives you an advantage. The other challenge with the numbers in that ball pack, apart from your name being on them and you didn't put them together, is that they're lagging indicators. Revenue and EBIT, the forecast and pipeline talks about a business that no longer exists. It could be 8, 10, 12 weeks old. That business is gone. And yet you're running the business today and need to make decisions about tomorrow. And yet you don't know the true health of the business, which we'll get back to. The second the second observation and there's three bunches of feelings that I'm going to talk about, but the second one is that epiphany, that realization that you look at the other board members and you realize that none of them are on your side and they're all wearing a mask. And when you think about that, it's in plain sight. The other feeling and the other observation over the time was is that boards are meant to talk about improving the performance of the enterprise, the business, to grow shareholder value. But invariably, they descend into justification of different board members to keep their jobs, where they only know their small bit of the business, and they'll defend it. And they might have been part of changing those numbers to tell a story that suits them. But let's assume not at this point. So you have a bunch of numbers that you weren't part of putting together and your name's on it. And then you have a board which is completely unsupportive of you and your role. The third feeling you have is that beyond that, you have a feeling that the business is there's something wrong. It's sluggish. It's slow to run. It doesn't respond. You walk around and you feel that people are focused on internal things rather than talking to customers. There's a lot of more politics than you're comfortable with, and you get a sense of the business not being right, and that is you're detecting symptoms, and your instincts are 100% correct because you're experiencing for the first time the slow bleed. And the slow bleed is very simply where the machine that converts customer opportunity into cash in the bank, slows, or in some instances stops completely. And it always reminds me of that scene from Margin Call where Jeremy Irons, who's the chairman of this investment bank in 2007, is talking to the analyst. And the analyst has found a problem with their exposure, their leverage. And Jeremy Irons says, look, so what you're telling me is the music has slowed. But if it were to stop, well, that's the slow bleed. Your velocity has slowed. And I would argue that most businesses are slowly dying, that the machine that converts opportunity into cash has slowed or in some cases stopped. And where it manifests all over the business are symptoms. And that's what you're detecting. numbers that are not yours, a board that's not supportive, all the masks are in place, and then you feel the slow bleed. And in each instance, you have no defense. As CEO, you have no defense. The numbers are not yours, people are not on your side, and the machine is not working in your favor. So, what are we going to do about it? Well, I wrote the slow bleed as a CEO field guide with tools, templates, action plans, a 90-day plan to help CEOs do a few things. Number one, defend the role, defend the job. Number two, find the truth. Find a set of numbers that you can rely on, numbers that can't be defended against because they're the truth. And everything stems from there. Once you understand cash conversion velocity, then you get a sense of how the business is functioning today and what you can do to identify the value that's blocked, what you can do to unblock it. And when we go into this process, and when I talk to CEOs and they say, okay, Nick, let's get to it. The question they often ask is, so why does nobody measure cash conversion velocity? And in actual fact, the answer is not what you might expect, because it's not hard. It's very easy to find. The data is there and available. The reason nobody measures it is because it reveals the truth and makes everyone feel very uncomfortable. Cash conversion velocity, once you have this number as a headline and all the other numbers that flow from it, exposes everything, the true health of the business. And therefore, when you use it as the primary measure, and you can talk about revenue and EBIT if you want, and days sales outstanding and all of these other metrics, that's fine. But when you look through the lens of cash conversion velocity, the truth becomes clear. And with this data, with these numbers in your kit bag as CEO, everyone's contribution in the business is connecting to improve that cash conversion velocity. That's the acid test. Any of these transformation programs, any of these get well programs, digital transformation, AI transformation, unless they improve cash conversion velocity, it's just a different color lipstick on a pig. So, to summarize, the numbers are not yours. You're vulnerable, you're defenseless. Number two, the board is not with you either. They're all hiding, they're all wearing a mask, and they're trying to defend their jobs and their roles. Number three, you're detecting the slow bleed. It's real. Listen to your instincts. You are absolutely right. The machine has slowed, which means the business is more difficult to run. And number four, we have an action plan. We have a field guide that's got everything you need to find the true health of the business and then to roll out CCV and all the different attributes and all the different tools that come with it to gain full control over the business, over the board, and get everyone moving in the right direction, which is to focus on improving the velocity of the business. The slow bleed. 45 years of mistakes, errors, finding out the hard way, getting dumped on by boards, the epiphany moment to say, as CEOs, we need to be treated better, and therefore we can take things into our own hands to defend our role, to outperform expectations, and to have a good tenure. The slow bleed. Get in touch, happy to help. Talk soon.